How you doing? How's everyone going in here?
Fantastic.
We've
How
got
about yourself, Thomas?
excellent. We've got a new face, Stephen Thompson, my mate. We've been doing this for quite a while now. He runs the office, Wiseberry, up in Richmond and in Penrith. So, who's the lovely lady we have in the room here?
Today I've brought along Joanne Tabone.
Yes.
She's one of our property managers. She works out of the Richmond office. I think she's been with us about 6 years now, has Joanne. And she does an awesome job, which is why we thought time to get her on a podcast. She knows what she's talking about.
But she hasn't started at the beginning. She was doing another position, wasn't she?
She started as on reception in customer care.
Yes.
And then she moved her way to an assistant in property management. And now she runs her own portfolio.
Yeah. So how are you? Talk to me.
Yeah, good.
How is property management?
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
Yeah, it's been good.
So what has changed? How was the month of December?
Yeah, it quieted down a little bit. October and November were really good months.
Yes.
For letting out property.
Yes.
But I think coming towards Christmas, people are starting to just, slow down a bit. But it's been good. We're still renting. Still things are still moving. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. So what is it you like about the job?
Just like the difference. Like there's all different things you can do. You
Yes.
can be in the office. You can be out of the office.
Yep.
It's good.
There's two types of property managers: the nice one and the ones that everyone fears, like tenants fears. I mean, which type are you?
Oh, I like to be in the middle.
That's a good answer. That's a good.
I probably get told I'm too nice, but no, I hope not to be too. I don't want to be the person that they don't like, but I want to be the person that they want to come to. And sometimes if you're too tough, they don't want to come to you.
Yes.
Like they just get a bit scared and
Yes. Yeah, because in the end, you're there to be a mediator.
That's right.
Someone who tries to help them, not a gladiator, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So how's the market in Richmond, mate?
Good. I mean, it's been busy. I think we've been busy on all fronts, whether it's sales or management. It's the same thing. It's sort of busy. I mean, we've only had 6 sales in the month of Richmond in the month of November, which is sort of down. Last year there were 14, but 10 years ago there were only 4. So, I mean, it's really an average time, I think. I mean, it comes close to Christmas. There's the ones who are going to rush on through, and then there's the ones who are just already set settlements up for next year. So stock on the market is down to 29 properties.
Yeah,
so
no, it's amazing.
That's not too bad. I mean, yes, it's been up to 50s in its day, but I mean, it's been down to 15 and 10s before as well. So I think there's, hasn't been a lot of stock coming on. Again, that spring rush hasn't happened. But I know there's a lot more contracts have been ordered because our zoning certificates are taking a bit longer to come now. So I think there's probably a bit to come on the market in the new year.
Yeah, because really Richmond is that beautiful area where people can now move away a bit further from Sydney and the busyness of Sydney and be right at the foothill of the mountains.
And I think COVID has certainly shown people, I think we've talked about it before, that they don't need to be there anymore.
Yeah.
They don't need to be sitting in Circular Quay at an office. They can work just as well from home. So live somewhere nice. So
And how about the office in Penrith?
Penrith, that area has had 35 sales for the month. I must say we've had a couple of those sales. We've had a bit of a quiet month. Our poor superstar Marietta's been off. She had to have surgery on her foot.
Yes.
So she's been laid up for the whole month of December. So that's kept us a little bit quieter over there. But if you go back again, last year was a bigger year. There were 48 sales in Penrith in the same month. But you go back to 2010, and I can tell you 2010, my memory doesn't serve me what it was like then, but it must have been a low year because every office, it was lower sales than this year and last year, 10 years ago.
It was the post-GFC,
Yep.
and people trying to recover. It was the bats, those...
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
So remember that there was all of those things. So things were slowed for a little while.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you look at the stock, I mean, there's 137 properties for sale just in Penrith. So stock's not that scarce, although a lot of them are the multi-storey 8-unit apartments, like 8-floor high apartments and things like that. But there's still some good stock around. And there's still interest. I mean, I've got buyer appointments right up till Christmas Eve in both suburbs. We've got I'm going out with Archie tomorrow to a listing appointment in South Penrith because people still want to move. So I think the world just keeps going on and just keeps turning over. We just keep being out there and doing the right thing for people.
Any good story, a tenant, landlord to share with us?
Yeah, probably for Stephen and I, we've got a buyer/landlord who purchased the property through us.
Yeah.
And I manage as well. And he said that the main reason he bought the property because he knew that I managed it, because I managed one of his and, built a good rapport.
Yes.
But yeah, that's a good one, so keeping in the business. So yeah.
And he's a bit of a tough man to work with. It took
is,
Joanne a little, and probably myself, a little bit to work him out, but he's a very loyal client. And what Joanne is saying is so true. I mean, he even rang me and said, who manages that one? If I'd said one of the other managers, I don't know that he would have taken it. He said, as long as I get Joanne, I'm okay. So, but Joanne...
That's the brownie point,
Yeah,
Joanne.
it is.
You got class about you. That's what I like about you. You got a lot of class. I think that the way you look at properties for landlords, you probably be looking at it as if it was your home.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that you would advise them and talk to them because you feel like you're part of their family as you look after their goods.
That's right. Exactly the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about a story of in a sale or story of a tenant? Anything good?
Not so much a story, but I can't really think of any. But I think one is for me getting 0 arrears.
Oh, she
majority
finally
of
said
this
it.
year.
I thought she was going to be too bashful to say that.
0 arrears.
The majority of the year. So that was a big achievement for myself. It was something that I think every property manager wants in their portfolio.
Yes.
And the year that you think it wouldn't happen, it happened. So with COVID and everything, you think it would go the other way. COVID was a blessing for me in my portfolio.
Yes.
But it was really good. I was seeing a lot of zeros and tenants were paying on time, and it was really good.
And we were talking like when we're saying that sometimes there were 8 to 9 weeks where there were no arrears for that whole period, and then there might be one tenant who got a couple of days and appeared on her sheet, and then she'd go another 8 or 9 weeks. So in our 4 offices, no other property manager has been able to match that this year. So Joanne takes that title out on her own.
That is amazing. Does it mean that there's lunch coming up? What's happening?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet.
How about you, mate? Any happy stories?
Oh, I'm not a sale one, but I did ask the love of my life, Lisa, to marry me 3 weekends ago.
Yes.
And fortunately, I can smile because she did say yes.
Yep.
So now she carries her diamond around with her on one hand and uses the other hand to hold it up, she tells me. Apparently, it's meant to be a good-sized diamond. I
was going to say the other hand, Nessie.
Nessie sort of holds it up. Probably.
That's how she balances it.
A puppy and a diamond,
That's
they probably
right.
weigh the same.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But so anyway, so that's some exciting things to look forward to for us personally next year is a wedding. So, and she said yes, which was good. It'd been a bit bad if I had to come and stay the story.
There's no doubt that you have to say yes. Seriously, mate, you probably the best bachelors. I've known Stephen for quite a few years, right?
Yeah.
And so I can say this: the guy is too nice.
He is.
To me, there's nice, and there's too nice. It becomes a disease.
Yes,
And I
definitely.
think that he's sick. So he's got the too nice sickness, right?
Yeah.
And so for someone like Lisa to have him there, he's probably the most loyal, the guy that would just throw himself under the bus before a scratch happens to Lisa. So there's no problem. She's a happy lady. However, I also don't want to mix it up, but we have to say it as it is because it has happened. You've had also a pretty bad week or two with some sad news in the family too, right?
Yep.
So I look at it and I just did a podcast with Louise in your team, and I see how you still find that strength to run the 4 offices and keep everyone up, and then also keep your loved one Lisa upbeat, or at least give her the support, mate. That is maybe the positive side to that sickness of yours of being too nice.
Oh well, you just look after everyone and do the best you can, and you put everyone you can first to look after them, and it just comes together.
Yes. So can you share with us maybe 1 or 2 lessons that you got out of these last 2 weeks from the passing of a loved one?
I think the thing is, one, the lesson is just to be there for people. I think that's and be for them in. Everyone's got a different way of handling it. So you've just got to accept that no one's going to be exactly the same. And I think something that I definitely learnt out of this one, or possibly last time we did lose a very close friend, is let people feel how they want to feel. I used to think it was all right to go, you should just feel like this and it will be better, or do this and this will be better.
Yeah,
and I realised,
talking like a man.
Yeah, just like trivial guy, And then this time I knew to keep my mouth quiet and just go, no, let everyone deal with it in their own way. Pick up the pieces if I needed to there and help someone over there. And it was just amazing to watch how a family can just come together.
Yes.
So it's what you do. It's just how you do it. But no, watching and letting others deal with it in their own way is a lot easier than telling them how they should do it, because it doesn't work doing the man's way and telling them how they should do it. So.
And what was the second one? You said 2.
Oh, I think I did the first one. That was the second one.
I'm
sure I did that.
It's the second one. Yeah, that's it. So, but where do you find the energy though? Because let's talk about it. Yesterday they brought in the second measure for COVID, right? Because now apparently the northern beaches have got, I think, at least 68 cases as of Sunday, and now everyone's closing their borders. So for a lot of people, it's going into that sad time again, either home or that kind of talk, especially when Christmas is around and you all stress about, will I see my parents? Can I organize some kind of Christmas thing with them, or do I need to cancel it? We're not talking about the cancellation of holidays, right? And so for me, what's happening yesterday and what you've gone through in the last 2 weeks, it's just crazy stuff. But you can share with us some of the lessons, man.
I think the lesson is there's always a positive to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our staff Christmas party yesterday, which was a wine tour of the Hawkesbury, which I can recommend anyone who wants to go to Hawkesbury Valley wine tours. It's definitely worth going. I'd never been. They took us to 2 wineries. I didn't even know we had 2 in the Hawkesbury. They took us to
a bad real estate agent.
A gin place. Well, did you know?
I had no idea. I lived in the Hawkesbury all my life. I had no idea.
So have I. I was even telling the guy that I didn't know that his winery existed, that, obviously I'm only 25 at the moment. So, I've lived in the area at least for 50 of those 25. No, I was only joking. I think I'd already had a few tastings by that stage. But I said, I've lived here for 50 years and I did not know we had a second winery, and they're right opposite each other, and I think that's the confusion. So 2 totally different places and 2 totally different wines. But then we went to a gin place, and then we went to 2 cider places. So I mean, we were gone from 9:30 till 6:30 basically. It was a big long day. Lucky the bus could drop us and pour us out the door to the home. But during that same time, we had staff affected. I mean, I feel so sorry for one of Heidi in customer care, because her Queensland trip's now been cancelled. Yeah. Even though she had a border pass. So she's sitting there, and people are reading the news off their phone between visits, and they're talking about this has just been cancelled, and she burst into tears because she now hasn't been able to see her mum for 12 months and now can't go again. But we just had to look. I mean, we even invited her to our house for Christmas and said, if you've got nowhere and you can't be with family, come to our house.
Oh, that's so nice.
And that's just how we sort of look at it,
That's so nice.
There's always something good about everything. I mean, I was having to sit there, and while we're driving, planning what's going to happen in Port Macquarie now, because we can't accept people from northern beaches. I think we need to close both our offices again to the public, rather than having people just strolling in, because there's been 2 cases in Stockland in our centre in Foster. So we really had to start going back to where we were 3 and 6 months ago. And that's all happening while we're sitting on a bus going, okay, that's just happened. How am I going to handle this? Let's change this. Talk to the girls in Port. Yep, we all agree. This is what's happening. Get out at the next tour. And it was a great day because we had husbands and partners there of our team as well. So chance to thank them for the work that they've done to make sure their other half turns up to work every day, and get them and the support they've given them while we sort of, push them to the limit if we can. And it was a great day, and
So while we're here and he's not listening, really, if I was to say to you, how would you define your leader, Stephen Thompson? What, in a few words? I mean, and he's not listening to you.
Yeah.
Right. So what would you say?
He puts others first. Like, he puts others first before himself.
Wow.
Definitely. So he's just, with leave and things like that, he's just like, no, just go, spend that time with your family, do what you need to do. It's always.
Have you worked for someone else before, Stephen?
Not like this, no, not full time, no.
Okay.
So Stephen's like my first proper boss, full time boss. But I think it's been a great experience over the last 6.5 years. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The first line, I don't pay attention to a lot of the entire story, the gist of the story, but your first line, how it came out and how natural it was, I knew straight away you really meant it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, Stephen, would you like to close, mate? End of 2020, Christmas about here. Why don't you close this podcast?
I think you're having a holiday, aren't you, Joanne? You got a bit of time off. I think you're off until what, the 8th, isn't it, of January?
7th. I'm back
The
on the
7th. You're back on the 7th. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going anywhere?
No, actually.
So hanging at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, so are we. I think after getting evacuated twice last year, we'd like to actually enjoy our home in the pool.
Right.
Are you going anywhere, Thomas?
No,
you having a bit of
no.
a break?
Yeah, I'm staying home.
I might invite you over for lunch one day. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, well, I'm yet to try that barbecue of yours.
That's true.
I have tried every bottle you have in the bar, but I'm yet to try the barbecue.
Well, I think we can do that. So I think, look, 2020, I think it's been a hard year for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think it's also been a huge year of learning and training and I think educating ourselves. I mean, some of the things we've done this year, Joanne, you would have to agree. There was probably no chance anyone I thought I would ever let them happen. And now some of them we're not going back from. So I think the growth and the change and the things that we've done in 2020, I don't think, whilst it's been a pandemic and it's a year I hope we don't have to revisit, the ability to change over the last year, I think is something that we never want to forget. Because if we can get through this, I believe we can get through anything.
That's nice.
So thank you for the podcast for this year.
Yeah,
thank you, Joanne.
Thank
for
you,
being our
Joanne.
guest.
No,
Yes,
thanks for having
absolutely.
me.
Thank
No,
you
it's been
so
good.
much.
Yeah.
And mate, we catch up on the other side of Christmas,
Sure will.
2021. Here we come.
Sure will.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.